In this video, we're going to talk about doors, windows, and curtain walls that we can create in Revit. So we're gonna see how we can create also our customized families, our customized objects, parametric objects that we can then insert inside our project. And also how and where we can get the Revit families in the standard assets, in the standard Autodesk libraries. We're gonna see how to install them and use them in the project if we didn't do that already, or Revit did that for us automatically. So let's start from the previous videos where we left off. We were talking about how to creating custom walls, how to customize the structure inside the wall and also the profile of the wall, and how to create here dormer for the roofs. So we are kind of getting more and more advanced using Revit little by little, step by step. So before we move on, let's check the ceiling first. Now, ceiling is not a structural element. It's something that we can add or not to our project, depending on what we usually do. So we're gonna go in the ground floor here, and gonna get inside this apartment here, inside this house. You can see that it doesn't have doors and windows yet. So this is what we're gonna do in just a minute. But right now we're gonna use the ceiling. Now, first of all, I want to deactivate the view here that I see underlay. So if I scroll down here in the properties and go in the properties of the floor plan underlay and click here and say none. So I won't see the roof projected onto the floor because I don't need to do that right now. We did that in the previous lesson. And well, let's try to create some ceiling. So I'm gonna click on ceiling, and you can see right now we have automatic ceiling or sketch ceiling. So let's go to automatic ceiling, and it's gonna highlight the room where I can place the ceiling. So usually when you create like 4 walls, this is gonna automatically generate a room, which is kind of a space that we can use also later on. It's going to take that data and place it in the database, and this is useful when you need to do ceiling, for example. So I'm gonna click here, and well, it's telling here, warning, none of the created elements are visible in the floor plan ground floor. You may want to check the active view, its parameters, its visibility settings, as well as plan regions and their settings. So this is a warning that you could probably see often because you probably are not in the correct view, or you have some setting that you need to do. Now remember that always check if something is hidden, or if in the view, let me show you here again, in the visibility graphic overrides, you have all that you need. If you have here the ceiling turned off, you won't see them in the view. And also be careful about the cropping and all those things that we talked about in the starting videos. Now, the real problem here is that we are in floor plans. And if you go down here in the views, you will see that you also have ceiling plans. So ceiling plans are those that you need to work with when you need to do ceilings. So I'm gonna double click here, and you can see that I have placed my ceiling already right there, but I couldn't see it right here. Now let's go back here to ceiling floor. So this is not actually a ground floor, it's actually a ceiling for the ground floor. And if we go in the properties again and see view range, we click on edit, we can see that this is pretty high, so it's 2 meters and 30 centimeters. This is why I cannot see it when I'm here. So always check if you are in the correct view. Now let's again go to the ceiling, automatic ceiling, and click on this other room, and you can continue. You can see how easy it is. Now another way you can create your ceiling is by sketching it. So it's like creating floors and roofs. So in this case, I can create it from here by using the lines, or I can use the walls that I already have. So if I click here, it's gonna place the ceiling right there. Now let's say that I want the ceiling not placed on the wall but with a little space. So I'm gonna set here, for example, 0.4, so it's gonna be 40 centimeters distant from the wall. And well, I need to refine it a little bit. Now if the line there goes the other way, it's probably because the wall is in the other direction, so we can just change the offset right on the fly and click right there. Okay, now let's go and fix this. So click on the corners and there you go. So you will have the ceiling placed right there. Now something else you can do with the ceiling, you can click here on this pattern, you can move the pattern into a better position if you want. So if you click move, you can click that line, and also right here, let's move this, place it right there. You can see it has a different position from before, and you can also rotate it if you want. So you can change the pattern. Okay, now you can also change the ceiling. So if I press tab, it's gonna show me first the lines of this grid and then the perimeter, which is, if I select right now, it's gonna take all of the ceiling. And then I can go here and change the family that I'm using. Now you can see this is in Italian because I'm using Italian families, but you can also download and install English families. I'm gonna show you how to do that. So you can see here I can change the way the ceiling is going to be composed, or the structure, and I can also change here the height of the ceiling from the floor, so it could be a little bit higher, like 0.7 or 0.65 centimeters. And we can go to edit type and edit the structure just as we did with walls and floors. Now let me create a new section. So I'm gonna go to view, and you can also create more ceiling plan views for other floors, just as we did again with the plan views for the floors. And section, I'm gonna create a section right away. Just double click there, and there you go. So these are the standard ceilings, which are represented by a single line, and this is the one that actually has a structure and a thickness. And again, you can use this that you find in a template, or you can upload new families, and this is also something that we're gonna see in this video. Now let's get back to the ground floor, and if I go here and start to see what doors I have available, you can see that I only have one, and it has this 3-dimension, and that's it. And then I have windows right here, only these. Now to place it is pretty simple. Just click on the element or component that you want to insert, in this case doors. You go right there, you decide where you want to place it, for example there, and then you click. And this is the first door. Now we're gonna see then how to modify it. But first of all, I want to show you where to get the additional libraries. Otherwise, you're gonna have only few elements here. Now, if I go to, for example, any of these components, or either the components itself, and I click on load family, this is where I can upload more families. And you can see here that I have more windows and more doors. Now again, I'm going to show you how you can download the English version, or whatever your language is. Now RVT is where you will find the families that you can use, which are already made